You have reached the San Diego County Medical Examiner. Para español, marque el número 9.
Medical Examiner's Office, this is Laura. How can I assist?
Yeah, I was trying to get some information on 2 cases.
Okay, what type of information? Do you have the case number?
Yes. I guess the first case number would be 21-00917.
And what is the name for that one?
Brian Austin Lambert.
Okay, perfect. How can I assist you with this one?
I was just trying to figure out the cause of death.
Okay, I'm pulling it up. Give me a minute. Brian Austin Lambert. I have the cause of death listed as gunshot wound of head.
Okay.
And the manner of death is listed as suicide.
Okay. And can I see the other case number, I guess?
Of course. Yes. What's that other case number you have?
That would be 21-00916.
Unfortunately for that one, I can't provide you any information. It is a sealed case. So that means law enforcement put a seal, and only law enforcement can go ahead and provide any type of information.
Okay. Is there a way for you guys to update me when it's unsealed, or do I just have to call in and check?
Unfortunately, you just have to call and check.
Okay, no problem. And then one last question. There was a dog that they owned that supposedly was also killed. Do you guys have like a report on that?
Let me see. On that one, I can't do anything. Let me go back to Brian's and see if there's a mention of a dog in Brian's. Sorry, I'm skimming through the notes, okay? Give me a minute.
No problem.
Now, unfortunately, I'm skimming through the notes, and I don't see the notes in Brian's case, which is the only one I have access to, mention anything about a dog.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have any information on that.
All right. Then I guess that was it, and thank you.
No problem. Take care.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Opinion. According to the investigative information, the decedent was a 49-year-old male who was found clothed and unresponsive, decomposing in bed next to his girlfriend, C 2021-00916, and their dog by police performing a welfare check. Upon examination, the male decedent in bed appeared to have an apparent self-inflicted gunshot of head and handgun and spent casing nearby. A towel covered the face of the female decedent. No obvious trauma was noted to the female decedent or dog. Further scene investigation revealed multiple other weapons and ammunitions in the secure residence, including a rifle, shotgun, and handguns. Additionally, there were empty alcohol containers and prescription medications also noted within the residence. The scene was noted to be orderly without signs of ransack or struggle. No suicide-type note was found nearby. The decedent reportedly had a past medical history significant for previous suicide attempt via cutting his left wrist as a teenager. Per family interview, the decedent met his girlfriend, C 2021-00916, approximately 3 years ago, and both were known to be associated with the electromagnetic plasma changeover event, EMPCOE, in which individuals believe the world will experience a type of plasma apocalypse. The decedent and his girlfriend were known to be planning for an end-of-the-world event. However, further specific details were not known. The autopsy findings included a mildly decomposed, obese male with a contact perforating gunshot wound of the right temporal scalp, which perforated the brain and exited out of the left temporal scalp. No projectile or projectile fragments were recovered. Toxicological testing detected elevated level of alcohol, 0.23% Wit/V, in postmortem blood. Based on the autopsy findings and the circumstances surrounding the death, as currently understood, the cause of death is gunshot wound of head, and the manner of death is suicide. This case is related to 2021-00916. Jagber Kangura, MD Deputy Medical Examiner. Evidence of injury. Gunshot wound of head. Entrance. A gunshot entrance wound is on the right temporal scalp, centered 3/2 inches below the top of the head and 1¼ inches anterior to the superior attachment of the right ear. A 3/8 inch ovoid defect is surrounded by an up to 1/8 inch stride, red-brown marginal abrasion extending from the 7 o'clock to 2 o'clock position and up to ½ inch stride red-brown marginal abrasion extending from the 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock position. Faint soot is noted within the underlying soft tissue, musculature, and periosteum of the right temporal bone. There is no stippling on the skin. Pathway after perforating the skin, subcutaneous tissue, and musculature of the right temporal scalp. The projectile perforates the right temporal bone, dura, right cerebral hemisphere, left cerebral hemisphere, dura, left temporal bone, and musculature, subcutaneous tissue, and skin of the left temporal scalp. To exit. No projectile or projectile fragments are recovered. Exit. A 3/4 inch stellate gunshot exit wound is on the left temporal scalp, centered 3 inches below the top of the head and at the superior attachment of the left ear. Associated injuries. Associated injuries include faint periorbital ecchymosis and bilateral areas of hemorrhage in the subscapular regions surrounding the entrance and exit wounds. The entire base of skull, including the anterior, middle, and posterior fossae, are fractured, with the most prominent fractures at the anterior fossa. All the bones of the cavarium are fractured, including a diastatic fracture extending through the sagittal suture. There is diffuse subarachnoid and subdural hemorrhage, concentrated mostly at the base of the cerebral hemispheres. The brain is pulpified along the wound track. Direction. The direction of the projectile is right to left, front to back, with minimal deviation vertically. Other injuries. A 1/8 inch red-brown abrasion is on the dorsal surface of the proximal right middle. These injuries, having once been described, will not be repeated.